Off and racing in the second, and as they go towards fence number 1, the one that's going to rise in front on V is Prominent, with right up there too Good for Scope and Spot of Bother with Blue Ridge Hill. Lost one at the first. 5yo is the one that went at fence number 1, but quickly on now towards the second, and it's on V. Favourite's going to take them along with Good for Scope, who's right up there too, and they're being chased back in third by Blue Ridge Hill with Spot of Bother the Grey. Marenstown is next with Master of Milan, and then Josie's Dylan. And they're being followed by Forcing Bull, who's the early back marker. So they're all safely over 3. Now they race into the dip for the first time with the riderless 5yo just briefly preceding them, but has diverted off course thankfully. So taking the climb now, and on V, just about with the advantage, joined there by, on the outside, Good for Scope, and they're being chased back in third spot by a now improving Marenstown, who's swept through to take over the lead. So it is Marenstown who's gone on as they turn into the straight, being followed back, and on V has been carried out by the riderless 5yo and is going to have to rejoin now. Has rejoined, lost quite a bit of ground there, the favourite on V, as they come up now to make their way to pass the judge first time. So plenty of change at the head of affairs in the early part of this race, but it's now Marenstown who's gone forward with a little conviction. There's a break opened up of 5 or 6 lengths to the second running red jacket of Good for Scope. Blue Ridge Hill is the far side. On V is recovered back into 4 with the grey behind this one, Spot of Bother, and they're being followed by Josie's Dylan. Master of Milan is last but 1, and the back marker is Forcing Bull. So they head down the hill now for the first time. Good run still before they meet fence number 5. And out front, Marenstown, the mount of Ben Crawford in the colours of John Joe Bright, being followed in second by the Harley Dunn Charge. That's Good for a Scope, the mount of Tiernan Roach. And then towards the inside, McGill aboard Blue Ridge Hill for Warren Ewing. Next up in the red and white stripes, the grey of Spot of Bother. Ben Harvey aboard for Brian Hamilton. On V is on this one's outside. Barry O'Neill taking the mount for Gordon Elliott. Master of Milan is just a little further back towards the outside, the mount of Declan Lavery, who's bidding for a double for the George Stewart team, who've won this race on many occasions back through the years. Josie's Dylan and Stephen Connor, one of the Crawford runners, is towards the back of the field along with Forcing Bull in the Denison Silks, the mount of Noel McParlin. So that's your 9 that remain as they go towards fence number 5, and it's Marenstown, the son of Mountain High, who's going to rise in front from in second spot as they take the turn. Blue Ridge Hill, and then just behind this one, the red jacket on the outside of Good for Scope, who was placed behind on Tubber last time. Then on V, who was 4th at Tattersalls on debut. This one's being followed by Spot of Bother and Josie's Dylan. Master of Milan is next, and the back marker remains Forcing Bull. Completing a circuit, making their way on now to go towards fence number 6. Out front, it is Marenstown with the advantage as they come to the line of 3 fences along the road from Good for Scope on the outside. On the inside is Blue Ridge Hill, and they're being chased by On V. Break to Spot of Bother as they go to the middle one of 3 fences along the back straight. Marenstown is over as they head now to go towards fence number 8. Marenstown is being followed by Blue Ridge Hill on the inside. Just towards the outside is Good for Scope, and this group are being chased just in behind by On V. Josie's Dylan got tight to that one, was out-jumped by Spot of Bother. Master of Milan last but 1, and Forcing Bull brings up the rear. Now they hit the dip and begin to hit the rising ground for the second time, and out front it is Marenstown with a red cap. He continues to show the way. He took up the running just about a circuit ago as he begins the turn in. The son of Frozen Fire being followed in second spot by Blue Ridge Hill, who was 5th at Turtulla last time, only beaten about 12 lengths on that occasion. Next up behind this one is Good for Scope, who was 2nd at Ballyvoddock last time behind the Useful Looking on Tubber. They're the leading trio. Back and forth on the near side is On V from the brother to Slate House. Over on the far side is Josie's Dylan from the family of Spirit Leader and That's My Man. The grey behind these is Spot of Bother, the son of Well Chosen. Next up behind this one is Master of Milan, and the back marker is Forcing Bull. So down the hill they go, making their way on now to go towards the gap that'll bring them on up towards 5 from the finish. And Maronstown leads them down from Blue Ridge Hill racing in second spot. And this one's being followed by Good for Scope, who's next, as they continue on the downhill run. And they're being followed behind Good for Scope by Unv, Spot of Bother. Behind this one on the inside is Josie's Dylan, as they go to race on now to take the climb. That'll bring them on up towards 5 from the finish. Forcing Bull still the back marker, just in behind Master of Milan. So now they begin to race on towards the next. This is 5 from the finish. Maronstown is out wide. Blue Ridge Hill is on the inside. Good for Scope is between them. Then just behind these Unv and Josie's Dylan, Master of Milan. And this one is being followed just in behind as they land over this one by behind Spot of Bother, Master of Milan and Forcing Bull. Turning to race across the back straight now to pass their point of departure second time, and it's Maronstown, Good for Scope, Blue Ridge Hill the inside, Unv the outer. They're closely bunched, this quartet, and they're being chased just in behind by Josie's Dylan, Master of Milan, and in between horses right up there too as they make their way on now towards the next. Master of Milan's followed by Forcing Bull. 3 fences coming up along the back. Maronstown leads over. Master of Milan hit it hard. Maronstown with Good for Scope. Unv is on the outside as they come to race towards the middle one along the back, and it's Maronstown with Unv right up on the outside. Good for Scope is in between horses as this trio now begin to head on into the dip. Maronstown over the second last from Good for Scope on the outside. Unv is back in third. Then behind these is Spot of Bother, and they're being chased by Blue Ridge Hill and Josie's Dylan and Master of Milan, clear from Forcing Bull. Hitting the rising ground now, it's Maronstown with on the outside coming to challenge Unv. Good for Scope is in between them as the trio begin to turn towards home. Unv the outside, Maronstown the inside, Good for Scope between them. They head towards the final fence. It's Maronstown and Unv coming to the last together. Maronstown the centre, Unv the near side, and Unv now just about with the upper hand, but Maronstown is rallying over on the far side and he's finding again. They're quickening right up towards the line. Maronstown and Unv go to the line together. Maronstown has won it from Unv. Back in second. Back in third is Good for Scope. Spot of Bother is 4. A break of 10 lengths or so back to Blue Ridge Hill. They were a couple in front of Josie's Dylan and Master of Milan, who went by together a long way back to Forcing Bull.